Islam the way back in the day, a Moorish American nation and family, Islam. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting pretty tired. So what I'm gonna do, I got off work. I work from 7 until 7 a.m. until about 4:30, almost 4:30 p.m. So I'm gonna take my locks down. I'm at Whole Foods. I just got through watching a video about illegal organ selling, and also September 11th video. It was in reference to the war games that was spoke of on September 11th. This is dealing with the United States government. I'm going to post it, but I found it interesting because it spoke of sex trafficking as well. So today is actually September 11th. Today is September 11th, 2019. And I woke up this morning and I kept hearing someone outside around the room at American Extended. I'm at Whole Foods in Annapolis, Maryland. And so we all know what happened on September 11th. So September 11th, years ago, the Twin Towers were blown up. They said they used planes to do it. This is what we heard in the government. I was in Georgia at the time, and over thousands of people were killed, or they were affected. There was an aftermath. People didn't understand what was going on, why it happened, how it happened. People were, we kept listening. I know for me, let me just say this. I was, well, a lot of us were wondering what happened. How did this happen on this landmass? And then afterwards, all these reports of other things, of reasons why it happened. So I don't know why, but this particular video, you hear government officials actually speaking about trillions of dollars being missing in war games and on September 11th. So here it is now. It's September, and they were referring to the date that the Twin Towers were bombed. They're not referring to any September 11th, because we all know Dwayne Bey. Ever since the date the Twin Towers were bombed, or we were this or that attack happened, they replay what happened over and over again on TV like it's a ritual. It's like it doesn't even seem like there's empathy or compassion for those that were killed. It's actually like a sacrifice being done and showing, look what we did. And that's how I would, at first it's like, why they keep showing the same thing over and over again? And you have all these questions still flying in the air. You even have government officials questioning about money, what happened to the money, what's going on, what happened that day, all this stuff. And why are they still showing this over and over again? And then sometimes they would even put an Arab face or say something in reference to Iraq's, what was the other place? Iraq, Bin Laden, another. I don't know all. I don't have my pen and paper, but it was. It's just like with Hurricane Katrina, when there was not a full explanation of what was going on with Hurricane Katrina and why it took so long for them to go to Louisiana and help those people in the Superdome. So they didn't. So. Many people were like, what happened? How can so many thousands of people be killed and missing in Louisiana during Hurricane Katrina? And they took so long, the government, to help these people. So anyway, here it is, September the 11th, 2019. And I'm here in Annapolis, Maryland, and I found it interesting this morning because I woke up. I kept hearing someone outside and around the room talking, saying brother, okay? A lot of times, like I told you, I would hear, these are some of the common words: brother, military, and then, we paid, a voice like it's so close, like in the room, like a mic in the room saying, "I love you." My dreams being invaded spiritually, and genitals being attacked spiritually, and so it's like whoever's outside and around the room at American Extended Stays, it's like they speaking. So you would have to have a certain technology in order to do such a thing. And why would you want to do it? And then also sending sharp pains. Mainly I experienced sharp pains while I'm earning money at Burger King. So this morning I woke up, I got up to take a shower, and I kept hearing this voice with a Negro accent speaking. Usually they have a Negro accent, a Spanish accent, or pale skin speaking outside and around the room, and saying these words. We pay brother, or whatever. I love you. He loves peace. He loves peace. He's gonna marry peace. Saying stuff like that. And stop, stay, because Imani-Gray-Bey and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, we do not know anyone personally here in Annapolis, Maryland. But we try to live our life in a productive manner. We exercise. We don't smoke cigarettes. We don't do drugs. We don't drink alcohol. Not saying that one day I might not have a cup of wine, but I don't. Don't smoke cigarettes. We exercise. We meditate. And we try to maintain a balanced diet that correlates to the chemistry of our body. So a lot of times when I experience forced sharp pains, it's usually when I'm earning money at Burger King. So let me continue on, because today is September 11, 2019. Let me tell you what I experienced away at Baffle Bay, my Moorish American Nation and family. So I was taking a shower, and I started to feel a dull sharp pain here around my uterus. And someone was saying, brother, like the brothers are mad, or something like that. Like I told you, sometimes when a male starts speaking, my cell phone would start beeping in the middle of the night. Or they start saying, marry her, we're gonna marry her, or something like that. So this is sometimes, Imani-Gray-Bey and I, we literally turn off our cell phone because a male either have a Spanish accent or a black Negro accent, but definitely, and also pale skin, okay? But mainly these are the main accents I hear: Spanish and a black Negro. Usually when it's a pale skin saying stay or military, okay? So the only military base I could think of, or military, would be the Navy and the Army. And I told you I didn't know about the Navy and Army being in Annapolis, Maryland. Well, they might. Anyway, so my phone would be beeping, and we would turn the phone off because someone would speak, like a male speak, as the phone beeps, or my genitals would be attacked in a sexual manner. But once again, most of the attacks I've experienced in reference to pain has been while I'm on my feet earning money at Burger King. I'm on my feet working hard, or I'm not, and I should say, just, I like to work hard because it keeps me busy, and I'm in shape. I'm physically in shape to do so. So I don't mind squatting, I don't mind sweeping, I don't mind mopping, I don't mind doing the things that gives me dignity that I'm earning money at Burger King. So I was in the shower, and I started to feel a sharp pain while I'm taking a shower, and someone saying brother outside around the room, like there's a group of or species that call themselves brother that's upset. Then I go to work, and as I'm going to work, many times, like I told you this, Dwayne Baffle Bay, I would see people walking in front of me with book bags on. I told you this years ago, but this definitely book bags on. Usually I ignore it, but since it's September 11th, 2019, I'm going to go ahead and speak about it today. So they're usually walking in front of me or walking behind me, and usually, like this morning, was a black Negro male that had on a book bag walking in front of me, and I just slowed down and let the black Negro walk in front of me. And then because a lot of times it is a black Negro or that looks Spanish speaking or speaks Spanish. Okay, so then as I was going, so I took out my tablet, because Imani Gray-Bey and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, we just got our Social Security cards and our Maryland State ID and our ancient ancestral name of Bey, which is a communication that we're implementing constitutional law. So that, and now we are pursuing to amend our birth certificates with our ancestral name of Bey. So this is lawful, and it places us in a jurisdiction of constitutional law, which includes Abraham Lincoln's proclamations, the 13th Amendment, 20 sections, all Abraham Lincoln's proclamation in the 13th Amendment, 20 sections, and all parts of Abraham Lincoln's, all parts of the Constitution of 1787. So in that, I'm very vigilant of spiritual attacks, because I'm experiencing these things, and many times it's those that yelled was a black Negro. Some words call them blackies, and I see why. Or it's the pale skin encouraging them to do so, or that which speaks Spanish. And as they're trying to engage, attack the genitals or send sharp pains to my joints, to my internal organs. So I went ahead, and because I went into work at 7. Hold on, let me go ahead down a little bit, because someone is speaking next to me, okay? And I don't want his voice to be included in the video. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to come back. So anyway, I go to work at Burger King, and as I'm working at Burger King, and like I said, while I was taking a shower, someone said I started to feel sharp, dull pain in my anus as I was taking my shower too. It was a slight dull pain in my anus, as someone was saying, brother. Okay, so then I'll go to earn money at Burger King. As I'm earning money at Burger King, because I went in at 7, because the manager told me that she needed someone to come in at 7. I heard her ask someone, could they come in at 7? I told her, I said, I'll come in at 7 if you need someone to come in at 7. Okay, and she said, okay. So I prepared myself, and I came in at 7 today, and she told me to come in at 7 again tomorrow and on Fridays, okay. And also I asked her about cashing in my sick pay hours, because I'm not going to use them, so might as well cash them in. And she said she was going to check into that as well. So as I was earning money, I walked in at 7. I was there on time. I noticed a black male came into Burger King that I used to see coming to Burger King quite a bit. In fact, when I received my check, when I received that mail, my notarized mail of money at the post office, he was there, and he has the United States Army on his license plate. He came in, and it's interesting, like I said, reminding you, Dwayne, I was feeling sharp pains on my anus. Those sharp pains on my anus this morning, like I said, I felt before when a Negro blackie male had came into Burger King. I don't know if he would claim a nationality. He could be black or African American. Came into Burger King, and he spoke Marines. I don't know if he claimed a nationality. And when he said Marines, I started to feel a sharp, dull pain around my anus. And this is sensitive area of your body. Just like if you feel a sharp, dull pain around your chest, you have your heart, you have your liver, you have your kidneys. As a woman, I have my uterus. So then so this morning, that's exactly what happened. The black male that usually come in the Burger King, I remember he would come in quite often, 2016, 2017, 2018, he came in. He has a United States Army license plate. There's quite a few of them come in. And when he came in, first there was another black male came in. He looked to be obese, or he was really big. He acted like he couldn't sit down on one of the things. Because remember, I told you I was feeling 4 sharp pains around my anus. Okay, as someone said, brother. Okay. And so the guy came in the Burger King and acted like he couldn't sit down. And he's a black male, about this tall, and obese. He acted like he couldn't sit down on the pole. He like he was struggling to sit down. Then the other black male that has the United States Army came into Burger King. And he too was, what did he say? He mumbled something. I don't remember what he mumbled as I took his order, but I gave him his order, and it was right after the black male acted like he couldn't sit down. Then I started more experience dull sharp pain in my anus, my foot. I started to feel sharp pains in my ankle and my leg, but mainly in my anus and right here on my uterus. And this is 4 sharp pains. I'm not accusing them, but I'm giving you a timeline of what I experienced today on September 11th, 2019. And once again, the guy had the United States Army on his license plate, and I documented him coming to Burger King when we first came to Annapolis in 2016, because I experienced a black male stalker as I was walking to earn money at Burger King, and the black male literally got out his car and tried to force engage physically. I had to call the cops. So that's when I really started documenting what I thought was odd. Then Miss Phyllis asked me, because we were short, it was only me and Miss Phyllis on working the front line up until approximately maybe 10:45 a.m. So I came in at 7, and it was just me and Phyllis. Some people called out, working the front line, I guess, or they didn't have anyone. So up until 10:15 a.m. Let me go back over here. And once again, I have internal organs. I have a heart. I'm healthy. I don't smoke. I don't drink. And it's not that I just don't. Cigarettes aren't good for you. So why would I smoke? And drinking alcohol is not what I want to do. I haven't drank alcohol in years. So, but we exercise in Monty Gray Hyphen BNI, and we are in the process of learning different government agencies of our changing status. So, after the black male left that had the United States Army license plate, I started to experience sharp dull pains repetitively around my anus and around my uterus. And I could tell they were forced sharp pains. And then some of the regulars came in that sit at the table. One male, and I'm not accusing him, he's a black male, they call him Charlie. Another black male who also had an SUV, he's a regular as well. He usually come in with a Vietnam, he usually have the word Vietnam on his hat. Like he's a Vietnam War veteran. And then another black male I took a picture of him he was actually posing. And this is after I was stalked. He was actually posing when I was sitting up. I was using my tablet like this. I was like, oh my goodness. I got it was like, look, this guy, I got the picture of him doing that. Anyway, so he was there. He also had the United States Army on his license plate. He came in today at Burger King, and literally my genitals, I'm not accusing, I'm just giving you a testimony because it's September 11th, 2019. Literally my genitals were being attacked spiritually, and I was feeling sharp pains repetitively. And once again, it was just me and Miss Phyllis, the manager. She's a black female on the front line working, because obviously someone either they didn't have any help or someone called out. And usually there are, let's say, someone in a drive-through, maybe 2 people on the front line. Someone's taking orders in the drive-through as well. So you might have someone passing food out in the drive-through, someone taking orders at the drive-through, 2 people on the front line at the register, and then also someone expediting the food. But it was just me and Miss Phyllis. So up until approximately 10:15 a.m. and the regulars were there at the table, and I was experiencing these 4 sharp pains and my genitals being attacked in a sexual or spiritual manner. And one of the things I kept hearing over there at the regular table, it sounded like from the guy that had the United States Army license plate that had his hand up like this, brothers paid. He was yelling brothers pay. I have a video recording of them saying things like that. I'm not saying he went on the video recordings that I have. When I listened back, there was some of the regulars were saying actually paid more, we paid, or 5. And I'm a Moorish American, but today I actually heard them say brothers paid, as I was experiencing sharp dull pains, whether it's around my ankle or my internal organs. Then I remember Miss Phyllis asked me, do I want to go on break? This is when another employee came on the floor. His name is Delray, a black male, on the front line, and she said, if you're going to go on break, because it's just going to be us, you need to go now. I said, no, I'll go ahead. I'm okay. I can continue to work. But when she asked that, that's when the United States guy, the guy that has the United States Army, had left. When she asked that, he actually was outside in the parking lot driving off. And then the other guy that is also considered regular, but the guy that they called Charlie remained there sitting at the table. Even afterwards, with just me and Miss Phyllis on the floor with little help, I was hearing different noises, and the Navy is approximately 2 miles behind Burger King, according to what some people have told me. Those black males that have come, one black male that have came into Burger King quite a bit with the Navy emblem on his shirt, because I was wondering why so many officers would come into Burger King, and some of them would sit there for hours at a time. And I was like, how close is this place? And he said literally it was 2 miles, approximately 2 miles driving distance from Burger King. I was like, now that's interesting, because I've been at Burger King working since June 2016, working hard. I used to work 6 days, went down to 5, 4, and then now I'm back to 5 for a month. And I was wondering, and some of those that imply to be connected or are connected to the United States Navy and Army would come into Burger King, and either I was experience certain things or they behave odd. And then some of the guests that sit there for hours will actually imply to be connected to the Navy and the Army, like they're representing somebody. And because many times I've heard them say, I don't know who and which one would say, he loves you, even at Burger King. We paid, the brothers paid, like today, but I ignored it. Except for when I first started working at Burger King, I was studying, and I listened back to my voice recording on my phone, and I was hearing them saying paid more, 5, and I started saying that something is wrong. Why are they saying this? Now, at the time, Imani and I, we had not alerted the Social Security Office and the Maryland State ID that we didn't get our Maryland State ID with our ancestral name of Bey, which identifies us as being Moorish American, implementing the proclamations of Abraham Lincoln, which include 13th Amendment, 20 sections. These are divine laws of freedom. So we in the process of doing it. And so, but any person that knows that's in the Navy and Army, the education is there for them to know about us, because with the circuit courts, when we handed them the information from Moorish Science Temple, they didn't question it. They took the paperwork from Moorish Science Temple because they knew exactly what was lawful. They didn't question us. They didn't give us a hassle. They accepted the paperwork that the National Grand Chief George Arrington-Bey gave us for our name change, and used it as supportive documents. Okay, so they know, the United States Navy and Army, what we are doing as Moorish Americans and what we have the right to do. Okay, so I'm not, once again, I cannot accuse, we don't have the science of telepathy, Monty Gray-Bey and we reject the science of telepathy. But to know that I can be experiencing such horrific force sharp pains in the presence of spirits that represent or imply to represent this military is odd. It's extremely odd. And this didn't just start happening. Like I said, some of them, they know it's a process. So I'm not saying they know or have this conversation, but those that are in the military, the United States Navy and Army, know it's a process of getting back into the constitutional fold and alerting different government agencies of your change in status, and that keeps you, keeps some of it helps you navigate. And also, when you are navigating under the laws of freedom, it's not so easy for someone to say we paid and try to rape you because we pay, because you're navigating under divine laws of freedom, which many have bled on this landmass to have freedom, to have the spirit of freedom, these laws of freedom. So the video that I was just listening to about 9/11 and illegal organ selling is really interesting, because I've experienced this for a long time, and most of the time, once again, it is when I experience it, it's usually voices that have a Spanish accent, pale skin, and that which have a black Negro accent. It could be male and female. So that is it is truly no joke. That is keeping it real. So Islam. That was my day today, and I'm going to tell you. Around 11, about 10:45, 10:50, we got another coworker came in. Gloria. So I work with Hamima, which is a Spanish-speaking. I think she's from Mexico. I worked with a black female that she claimed a nationality named Gloria, Miss Phyllis, Del Rey, which is a black male, John, which is another black male. Who else did I work with? Another co-worker came in. He's a pale skin. They call him Daryl. But that's it. That I can remember. I don't think I'm leaving any. Then later, another female came in named Tracy, who is be understood as a black or African American, unless she claimed a nationality as a cook. But on the front line, it was just me, Del Rey, and Miss Phyllis, and then Gloria came in, and so we were just doing the best we could, and that did not stop those from that have the science of telepathy from sending force sharp pains to my internal organs, to my feet. And so once again, this is also correlating to why the United States rate so low in health. And you cannot find one statistic showing the United States rating high or in the first 15 in reference to physical health, which is connected to mental health. But yet you have two types of medical fields. You have the hospitals that are created for profit. They use these unclean spirits that have the science of telepathy to cause dis-ease in the mind, cause physical illness. They use them, them being not naturalized under laws of freedom. Then it all correlates. Okay, so diseased, because you hear them say, I told you I hear them say brother, like they trying to breed. 99% of them are diseased, spreading disease. Maybe it's herpes, AIDS, whatever. These are unclean spirits. And then not only that, then they use them. So then if you have a disease, you're going to have to be recycled back and forth in the hospital, in the medical field, the medical system, because you're trying to stay where you can work. You might be fighting for your life. Okay? So then they have the spirit sending sharp pains. And then they use different reasons of why they use these unclean spirits to do so. And they've done it so much that now the United States is not even considered healthy. It's not even considered healthy among civilized, healthy nations. They use these unclean spirits, whether they're from Mexico, El Salvador, South America, whether they are black or African American, Negro, okay, because those are the two main groups that have been most aggressive, where the pale skin sit back and also the pale skin to cause these pains, this disease. And that is nothing but a cycle or act of war, a spiritual war against those inhabitants of the landmass to keep the masses of people in sickness, disease, so that they can be recycled back and forth in the medical system. Then you have those hospitals that are created for healing. And you know they are created for healing because they're not going to use one of these, or these medical systems, because they're not going to use one of these unclean spirits to do such things. They're not in the slave breeding process. Islam. So anyway, September 11, 2019. I'll talk to you later, Islam. I gotta stop because it's already at 31 minutes and 22 seconds, and I think I spoke everything. So what all day today, a lot of the times during the day, I was definitely even while the Spanish guy just walked past me. I'm feeling someone said one, and my genitals were attacked in a spiritual sexual manner. And so most of them are known to do such things. I'm not saying he did it, but that's one of the personalities of a slave. These are the personality of a slave, okay? They're going to be the ones that they use to stalk your room in the middle of the night, or on the side of a house or apartment, to cause sharp pains, to attack your children in their sleep, molest your children, invade their dreams, have sex with your children in their sleep. This is the characteristic and personality of a slave. They are the ones they're going to put on around in the population to send sharp pains to internal organs, okay? And this is, once again, the personality and characteristic of the slave. They are the ones that they're going to have around the food, where the food is needed, where you might want to go to the grocery store to get food at, because they know food, you need food, all right? And so the population needs food. So it's just like, for instance, when I was having issues with the food stamp office, I didn't understand why I was having so much problems with the food stamp office. But when I was coming back from the food stamp office, right on the bus, the black Negroes on the bus would be in Spanish speaking, would speak odd, and chaos would happen out of nowhere. And so I recorded it, and my genitals would be in attack, because I noticed that some of the like noises when the buses come by, some of the noises would be male, like black with an accent, would be begging, like an odd noise come from the buses. So when I got on the bus, it's like you could tell, like, either if they don't attack the genitals, it's because they try, like an animal, they try not to restrain themselves from not behaving and raping and molesting in the public. Like they're trying to keep themselves from not doing it. So I recorded it, and the last time I recorded was a black male, these two black males talking about they don't want to kill nobody, and this is coming from the food stamp office. And because I kept going back up to the food stamp office over and over again, even though I turned in several information, every time they asked me, I turned in, but they could not get, for whatever reason, I wasn't getting food stamps. But once again, Imani Gray-Bey and I, Rhonda Arrington-Bey, are on this process of alerting different government agencies of our change of status, implementing the Hebrew law, Abraham Lincoln's proclamations in the 13th Amendment, 20 sections, and being being in the constitutional fold. So they're going to have these unclean spirits around food. Even when I was at the food pantry, the Spanish speaker was there, and before I turned on my camera, I was feeling sharp pains. These they look like they're from Mexico. A lot of them look like they're from Mexico or El Salvador. And I was feeling sharp pains right here in the back of my head or around in my cranium. And then I turned on my camera, then all of a sudden I could tell, because they were talking really bold before I turned on my camera. When I turned on my camera, my video, all of a sudden the voices, the tone changed. Like they were like, like something changed. But before they were very bold as they were speaking, and I was experiencing sharp pains. And once again, Imani Great Bey, we are not able to do this type of harm to anyone. We wouldn't want to do that. Okay, we are not a slave. We don't want to be used as a slave, and we don't want to be used to cause harm to someone, so someone else can have their organs. Okay, we don't want to be a part of the slave breeding process or illegal organ selling, Islam. So these are the things that go on in that jurisdiction, Islam. And then as I came back so that's two situations in reference, knowing that they will have these unclean spirits around, which is food, whether it's the grocery store, the food pantries, that sort of thing. Another thing I remembered, when I was coming from Social Security office to Wayne Bathfield Bay, and I just got through getting my card, the Maryland State ID, I went to the food pantry. And I saw this truck with the Navy license plate blinking at the food pantry. And I was like, why? Right there, I never seen a truck with Navy license plate at this food pantry where I get free food at. And I just got my Maryland State ID. I just went up there to annex my name to Bay on my Maryland State ID. This was last week. Then a few days ago, as I was sitting outside, just doing my basic keeping to myself, because we don't know anyone here in Annapolis, a pale skin approached me asking if I wanted something for free, and I told him, no, don't speak to me, I don't know you. And he got upset. He had on the Navy emblem, a shirt with a Navy emblem on his shirt. He got upset and actually tried to say something like rude, and I said, please take off the shirt. Why you? If someone tells you don't speak to her or him, you just respect it. That's part of their freedom, their rights. I don't know you. Don't talk to me. Why are you approaching me? You have on a shirt that represents the Navy. You are representing the Navy in this country, and many nations see you. And if you're going to be a slave, or someone else is using you, a foreign jurisdiction, at least have enough dignity where you don't approach a woman and show that you see a woman as a threat that's trying to implement divine laws of freedom with her child. Okay? That which include getting into the Constitution of 1787. So they are really bold. So why are they so bold? Okay? That's the question. Why are they so bold? Islam. It's September 11th, 2019.